sanitary, sanitary, sanitation, sanitation, exigency, exigency, exigent, exigent, clone, clone, greenery, greenery, slope, slope,
bridge, bridge,
prefix, prefix,
suffix, suffix,
righteous, righteous, bounce, bounce, bound, bound, aquarium, aquarium,
overall, overall,
remainder, remainder, molecule, molecule, grown, grown, crook, crook, mechanic, mechanic, mechanical, mechanical, mechanism, mechanism,
head on, head on,
meet, meet,
compact, compact,
questionnaire, questionnaire, allude, allude, illusion, illusion, splash, splash, virtue, virtue, virtuous, virtuous, miss, miss, mission, mission, transmit, transmit, transmission, transmission, emit, emit, emission, emission, dismiss, dismiss, dismissal, dismissal, omit, omit, omission, omission, submit, submit, submission, submission, pray, 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 pray,
sanitary towel, sanitary towel. sanitary belt, sanitary belt, sanitary napkin, sanitary napkin, a sanitary cup, a sanitary cup, sanitary ware, sanitary ware, a sanitary engineer, a sanitary engineer, sanitary engineering, sanitary engineering, a sanitary inspector, a sanitary inspector, sanitary regulations, sanitary regulations, sanitary science, sanitary science, a sanitary code, a sanitary code, sanitary arrangements, sanitary arrangements, sanitation worker, sanitation worker, attend to sanitation, attend to sanitation, for reasons of sanitation, for reasons of sanitation, lack of proper sanitation, lack of proper sanitation, a sanitation department, a sanitation department, in this exigency, in this exigency, an unforeseen exigency, an unforeseen exigency, meet the exigencies of the times, meet the exigencies of the times, an exigent countermeasure, an exigent countermeasure, at this exigent moment, at this exigent moment, clone a human embryo, clone a human embryo, clone cheap dolly, clone cheap dolly, summer greenery, summer greenery, unsullied greenery, unsullied greenery, dry slope, dry slope, nursery slope, nursery slope, a grassy slope, a grassy slope, a gentle slope, a gentle slope, a slope of 45 degrees, a slope of 45 degrees, the angle of slope, the angle of slope, sloping shoulders, sloping shoulders, climb a mountain slope, climb a mountain slope, slope the ground, slope the ground, slope the standard, slope the standard, build a bridge across a river, build a bridge across a river, throw a bridge across a river, throw a bridge across a river, suspension bridge, suspension bridge, land bridge, land bridge, prefix a title to a name, prefix a title to a name, prefix a syllable to a word, prefix a syllable to a word, prefix a title to a book, prefix a title to a book, bounce a ball, bounce a ball, prefix a condition to an agreement, prefix a condition to an agreement, a noun suffix, a noun suffix, a pejorative suffix, a pejorative suffix, an interrogative suffix, an interrogative suffix, self-righteous, self-righteous, a righteous God, a righteous God, die a righteous death, die a righteous death, righteous anger, righteous anger, a righteous man, a righteous man, a righteous act, a righteous act, righteous over much, righteous over much, the righteous, the righteous,
Righteous indignation. Righteous indignation. Do something righteous. Do something righteous. One bounce of the ball. One bounce of the ball. A bounce in popularity. A bounce in popularity. Bounce back. Bounce back. Bounce about. Bounce about. Bounce into a room. Bounce into a room. Bounce out of a room. Bounce out of a room. Rise with a bounce. Rise with a bounce. Give the bounce. Give the bounce. Get the bounce. Get the bounce. Bounce a person out of his right. Bounce a person out of his right. Bog-bound airports. Bog-bound airports. Homeward bound. Homeward bound. Paris bound. Paris bound. A plane bound for Dublin. A plane bound for Dublin. Bound hand and foot. Bound hand and foot. Be bound to say so. Be bound to say so. A book bound in cloth. A book bound in cloth. A leather bound book. A leather bound book. a bound volume, a bound volume, a bound prisoner, a bound prisoner. Snowbound airports, snowbound airports. Bog-bound, bog-bound. Past the bounds of common sense, past the bounds of common sense. Bound away, bound away. Bound forward, bound forward. A bound forward, a bound forward. By leaps and bounds, by leaps and bounds. Strike of all on the bound, strike of all on the bound. Tropical aquarium, tropical aquarium. Home aquarium, home aquarium. Overall majority, overall majority. Overall efficiency, overall efficiency. An overall estimate, an overall estimate. The overall length of a bridge, the overall length of a bridge. About 15 feet overall, about 15 feet overall. In an overall, in an overall. Overall vote, overall vote. Overall score, overall score. Consider a plan overall, consider a plan overall. Find the remainder, find the remainder. The remainder of work, the remainder of work.
The remainder of one's life. The remainder of one's life. Books sold in remainder. Books sold in remainder. Pay the remainder. Pay the remainder. The remainder of the money. The remainder of the money. Gram molecule. Gram molecule. Nuclear molecule. Nuclear molecule. Air molecule. Air molecule. A hollow groan. A hollow groan. Give a groan. Give a groan. Give a groan of despair. Give a groan of despair. To groan with pain. To groan with pain. Groan for a cup of water. Groan for a cup of water. Groan out a reply. Groan out a reply. Groan of scorn. Groan of scorn. Groan inwardly. Groan inwardly. The groaning wind. The groaning wind. Groan beneath one's toil. Groan beneath one's toil. A small-time crook. A small-time crook. Crook a friend. Crook a friend. A crook in a stream. A crook in a stream. Have a crook in one's back. Have a crook in one's back. Have a crook in one's character. Have a crook in one's character. A crook film. A crook film. A car mechanic. A car mechanic. Air mechanic. Air mechanic. Master mechanic. Master mechanic. Mechanical parts. Mechanical parts. A mechanical device. A mechanical device. Mechanical defects. Mechanical defects. A mechanical response. A mechanical response. Mechanical processes. Mechanical processes. A mechanical saw. A mechanical saw. Mechanical pressure. Mechanical pressure. A mechanical breakdown. A mechanical breakdown. A delicate watch mechanism. A delicate watch mechanism. The mechanism of a clock. The mechanism of a clock. A clockwork mechanism. A clockwork mechanism. The mechanism of invention. The mechanism of invention. A defense mechanism. A defense mechanism. A torpedo release mechanism. A torpedo release mechanism. Trigger a mechanism. Trigger a mechanism. Collide head-on. Collide head-on. A head-on collision. A head-on collision. A head-on crash. A head-on crash. Meet head-on. Meet head-on. Meet one's guests at the door. Meet one's guests at the door. Meet one's fate calmly. Meet one's fate calmly. Meet charges with counter charges. Meet charges with counter charges. Meet a person's wishes. Meet a person's wishes. Meet one's obligations. Meet one's obligations. Meet the requirements of a situation. Meet the requirements of a situation. Meet one's liabilities. Meet one's liabilities. Meet a bill. Meet a bill.
Congress meets tomorrow. Congress meets tomorrow. An air meet. An air meet. An athletic meet. An athletic meet. A track meet. A track meet. A compact camera. A compact camera. A compact mass of earth. A compact mass of earth. Write compact sentences. Write compact sentences. In a compact mass. In a compact mass. Make a compact. Make a compact. A three-nation compact. A three-nation compact. Infract a compact. Infract a compact. Infract a treaty. Infract a treaty. Social compact. Social compact. To complete a questionnaire. To complete a questionnaire. Answer a questionnaire. Answer a questionnaire. Fill in a questionnaire. Fill in a questionnaire. Draw up a questionnaire. Draw up a questionnaire. Allude to one's poverty. Allude to one's poverty. Allude to the problem. Allude to the problem. Allude to the subject. Allude to the subject. A topical allusion. A topical allusion. Make an indirect allusion. Make an indirect allusion. Make a distant allusion. Make a distant allusion. A vague allusion. A vague allusion. A person allusion. A person allusion. This tap splashes. This tap splashes. Splash through the mud. Splash through the mud. Splash water about. Splash water about. Splash a page with ink. Splash a page with ink. Splash one's way. Splash one's way. Hear a splash. Hear a splash. Fall into the water with a splash. Fall into the water with a splash. A splash of ink on the carpet. A splash of ink on the carpet. Of easy virtue. Of easy virtue. A man of virtue. A man of virtue. Cultivate virtue. Cultivate virtue. Virtue and vice. Virtue and vice. The virtue of charity. The virtue of charity. Preserve one's virtue. Preserve one's virtue. Lose one's virtue. Lose one's virtue. A woman of virtue. A woman of virtue. A woman of easy virtue. A woman of easy virtue. The virtue of herbs. The virtue of herbs. The virtue of a remedy. The virtue of a remedy. A medicine without virtue. A medicine without virtue. The virtue of the magnet. The virtue of the magnet. A medicine of sovereign virtue. A medicine of sovereign virtue. A wise and virtuous man. A wise and virtuous man. Virtuous circle. Virtuous circle. A virtuous person. A virtuous person. A virtuous act. A virtuous act. Be virtuous. Be virtuous. Assume a virtuous air. Assume a virtuous air. A chaste woman. A chaste woman. A virtuous woman. A virtuous woman. To miss a turn. To miss a turn. Miss a bird. Miss a bird. Miss one's aim. Miss one's aim. Miss an opportunity. Miss an opportunity. Miss breakfast. Miss breakfast. Miss a traffic accident. Miss a traffic accident. Miss in business. Miss in business. Have a miss. Have a miss. Miss the boat. Miss the boat. Mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. A fact-finding mission. A fact-finding mission. Foreign mission. Foreign mission. A space mission. A space mission. Be sent on a mission. Be sent on a mission. His mission in life. His mission in life. Transmit germs. Transmit germs. Transmit by fax. Transmit by fax. Transmit electric signals. Transmit electric signals. The transmission of the disease. The transmission of the disease. Automatic transmission. automatic transmission, the risk of transmission, the risk of transmission, a live transmission from Sydney, a live transmission from Sydney, transmission of news, transmission of news, electric transmission, electric transmission, emit smoke, emit smoke, to emit a signal, to emit a signal, emit phosphorescence, emit phosphorescence, emit complaints, emit complaints, emission controls, emission controls, electron emission, electron emission, emission law, emission law, carbon emission, carbon emission, greenhouse gas emission, greenhouse gas emission, dismiss a case, dismiss a case, dismiss a man from his post, dismiss a man from his post, be dismissed the service, be dismissed the service, dismiss an assembly, dismiss an assembly, dismiss one's troubles, dismiss one's troubles, dismiss the charges, dismiss the charges, dismiss the indictment, dismiss the indictment, constructive dismissal, constructive dismissal, unfair dismissal, unfair dismissal, a mass dismissal, a mass dismissal, the dismissal of the appeal, the dismissal of the appeal, dismissal from office, dismissal from office, wrongful dismissal, wrongful dismissal, dismissal from school, dismissal from school, mass dismissal, mass dismissal, mass discharge, mass discharge, an abrupt dismissal, an abrupt dismissal, occurred dismissal, occurred dismissal, omit an article, omit an article, omit to write one's name, omit to write one's name, omit an item from the list, omit an item from the list, omit a greeting, omit a greeting, omit precautions, omit precautions,
An inadvertent omission. An inadvertent omission. Sins of omission. Sins of omission. A grave omission. A grave omission. Supply the omission. Supply the omission. Rectify an omission. Rectify an omission. Correct an omission. Correct an omission. To submit an application. To submit an application. Submit a resume. Submit a resume. Submit to threats. Submit to threats. Submit a case to the court. Submit a case to the court. Submit to a newspaper. Submit to a newspaper. Submit oneself to insult. Submit oneself to insult. Submit to a conqueror. Submit to a conqueror. Refuse to submit tamely. Refuse to submit tamely. Submit to one's fate. Submit to one's fate. Submit a written apology. Submit a written apology. Submit written questions. Submit written questions. A gesture of submission. A gesture of submission. Counsel submission. Counsel submission. Give in one's submission. Give in one's submission. With all due submission. With all due submission. In my submission. In my submission. Yield submission. Yield submission. Make a submission. Make a submission. Pray rosary. Pray rosary. Pray to God. Pray to God. Pray continue. Pray continue. To pray for peace. To pray for peace. Pray all night. Pray all night. Bird of prey. Bird of prey. A prey to disease. A prey to disease. A prey to fears. A prey to fears. A prey to circumstances. A prey to circumstances. An animal of prey. An animal of prey. A beast of prey. A beast of prey. Fall prey to fear. Fall prey to fear. Pursue a prey. Pursue a prey. Pursue a fugitive. Pursue a fugitive. Easy prey. Easy prey. In search of prey. In search of prey.